Hi and welcome. It's Roland here at Roland's Travels. Thank you for joining me once again, and if you're a first-time visitor, an especially warm welcome to you. Anyone who's not a subscriber yet, could I just encourage you to hit that subscribe button before we start this video, or do it at the end. It really helps the channel to grow. Now, recently I was looking at this map of Westbury. It's a Victorian map, an online map. It basically means we can look back in time, see what there was in a particular area. And I was just doing a little bit of research for future videos. And I happened to be scrolling along through Westbury town. Workhouse there, that's something we can take a look at later on. And then this spotted on the map, it came up. A moat. And there's Penley House and Penley and the railway line there, which is still here. And I thought, what is that about? A moat. It got me thinking, wanted me to do some research, and so I did. If we go through the time scale here, we can come back to modern times, and as we do so, we can see that the moat should be here, if it's still there, next to Main Way, which is a fairly new road that's been built to allow all this housing to be built around Westbury, and presumably at some time they'll be looking to build around here too. So I just wondered, will that moat still be there? Well, let's take a look at an aerial view of a map on Apple Maps and take a look for ourselves, shall we? Here we are. There is definitely the outline of a moat. So let's think about that. What's it all about? What can we discover about this moat? What can we find out? Well, doing some research, there are lots of moats around. I'll give you some figures later on. But these would have contained a farmhouse or other house. This would have been the gardens in that moat area. And of course, it would enable them too to have some protection with the moat, not necessarily in a way of protection against from humans, but from animals coming and eating their vegetables they would grow in their garden. It would also give them some flood protection too, should the waters rise. We've got to remember there's been a lot of modern farming, so this area may be very different when it comes to flooding nowadays than it was back in medieval times, which this would have been, probably looking about the 1400s, possibly earlier, maybe even a property on this site before the last one was built. But we'll take a consideration of that in a few minutes, because we're going to go out and see if we can find this moat and take a look at it. I'd like us to zoom in on it a moment and just really take a closer look at what's going on in that moated area. Let's do that. There it is, right in this field. Oh, let's move it back a second. As soon as you touch the mouse, it jumps away. So there's Main Way, the new road. There is a lane here, which goes through towards Dilton Marsh, I believe, at the other end. So as we look at this, you can clearly see the outline of the moat. The ditch is still there, it would appear. And this raised platform would have enabled the property to be a little bit above any flood waters, plenty of drainage with water going into the moat anyway. And it would appear that they would like to keep fishing there. Carp was a common thing, very much across Britain in days gone by. I know many of the monasteries had carp pools because they would feed themselves the fish. So that's something that would have been a benefit, as well as keeping out deer and other animals that may have come into the homestead unwanted. So let's go out and see if we can find anything on the ground with regard to this moat and maybe others. Let's get going. Well, here we are in Westbury. The new housing development we saw on the map is over there, which means that behind me should lie the moat behind this hedgerow. Let's go and take a look, shall we, and see what we can find. Well, here we are. From here we can see the outline of the moat, the long grasses that run round the edge of it and on into the distance. See if we can get a better view from further down as well. Obviously over the years the moat has been filled in with vegetation, a train going by in the background, but we can still clearly see the outline of the hedging growing around it, some trees now growing in the middle, and you can also tell that the centre was a little higher at one point as well. That's sunk down a little bit now, and the house would have stood within this boundary, this vegetation growing around. Now, we're not going to be able to get into the field, but at least we can see it from here. Now behind me, it's very overgrown here behind, but looking from the aerial view behind this hedge, there is also a pond, which probably at one time was also connected to this site. I did say earlier in the video I would tell you how many moats have been discovered. Well, in England there have been recorded 5,300. Not an insignificant number when you think about what the population would have been back in medieval times. In the county of Wiltshire, where I live, and where this moat is we're looking at here, there are 37 that have been recorded. So quite a popular way of living for many people back in that era. Now, I hope you've enjoyed this video. It's been delightful to be able to tell you a little bit about moats and to show you at least one that we can get fairly close to. Many of them are on private land, so it's very difficult to get to actually walk around them. But I want to thank you for watching. If you're not a subscriber yet, don't forget to do so. Hit that subscribe button. Give the video a thumbs up. It all helps the channel to grow. And if you click the notify button, you'll know every time I upload a new video. So thank you so much for joining me. Take care, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.